Tonight on Newswatch, updates on the Omicron COVID-19 variant, what it means for those in New York State and around the globe. Plus, a Cornell law professor scouted by the Biden administration for a cabinet position, where they might be asked to fill in, and the latest details on that.
And reporter Paige Morrissey gives us an inside look into how an organization is vying to tackle affordable housing in the area. All that and more tonight on Newswatch.
Covering Ithaca and all of Tompkins County. From ICTV News, this is Newswatch.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. I'm Linus Dental.
And I'm Jordan Broking. First on 16 tonight, Moderna's CEO speaks out on the Omicron variant and the effectiveness of their vaccine and booster shots. Stefan Bonsell predicts there will be a, quote, material drop, unquote, of current COVID-19 vaccines against the Omicron variant.
Bonsell noted that current vaccines may need to be modified in the coming months due to the increase in spread of COVID-19 variants. Yesterday, Moderna, BioNTech, and Johnson & Johnson said they are working on vaccines that specifically target Omicron variant. And speaking of rising cases, the Dryden School District has moved classes online as nearly 200 students and staff members are under quarantine. Superintendent of Schools Joshua Bacigalupi says the first day the district will have enough staff to hold in class person will be December 3rd. However, he says that date could change based on COVID-19 testing results, which are expected in the coming days. While there has been an uptick in cases in Tompkins County schools this academic year, Dryden School District marks the first district closure because of COVID-19 cases since the start of 2021.
The search for an escaped Tompkins County jail inmate has been called off after he was apprehended earlier this afternoon. 37-year-old Jeffrey Cornell was taking out the trash with a guard during a work detail last night when he escaped the jail on foot. Cornell was arrested on State Street after being spotted in the area. He is currently serving a sentence for driving while intoxicated, as well as other various charges, but an additional charge for second-degree escape has now been added.
And a lengthy investigation of stolen weapons and narcotic activity at an Ithaca home on Lake Avenue has ended in an arrest. The Ithaca Police Department arrested and charged 55-year-old Philip W. Deviney of Ithaca with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree. During the seizure, the Tompkins County Specialized Response Team confiscated stolen firearms, 350 doses of Suboxone, 1.9 pounds of methamphetamine, stolen high-end bicycles and power tools, along with $26,000 in cash. Deviney is currently booked in the Tompkins County Jail. And next up, reporter Paige Morrissey takes us to a small organization with big dreams to tackle community issues. Let's take a look.
Located between West Court Street and West Buffalo Street, the Founders Way project is bringing new life to both buildings and the people of Ithaca.
I think it was, a vacant property that was sitting there, and obviously a beautiful location, very close to downtown. It was something that definitely the community needed to have redeveloped.
The Ithaca Neighborhood Housing purchased the property from what was the former Immaculate Conception School and is now being repurposed to affordable housing. Affordable housing has become one of Ithaca's most prominent issues over the years, and this project will help to house people who need it.
We purchased it. The diocese closed the school because they had falling enrollment, and then they put out a request for proposals for developers who are interested in redeveloping the site. So we were one of several groups who responded to the RFP.
Once the property was purchased, the Ithaca Neighborhood Housing sought funding. The project now has over 12 funding sources because it is such a substantial redevelopment.
The way that low-income housing is developed in the United States is generally through tax credits. So what happens is the federal government allocates tax credits to the state, who then award those to applicants.
Many working on the project say that this will be a huge stride in tackling the issue of affordable housing in Ithaca and will be a great addition to the community, as it will hold up to 75 units of living space.
Nonprofits that serve primarily youth, which is great, being right next door to BJM Elementary School here. So I think that this is a very good reuse of, a resource that was sitting here waiting to be put back into service.
The Founders Way project will soon address one of Ithaca's biggest issues, affordable housing. to apply for one of the 75 units, or for more information, visit ithacanhs.org. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Paige Morrissey.
Thank you, Paige, for that story. TCAT has had to cancel multiple routes due to a staffing shortage yesterday. 6 of the Route 10 trips were canceled, as well as 30 Route 81 trips. General Manager Scott Vanderpool blames supply chain issues that have caused slow delivery and repair materials and the extreme shortage of bus drivers to work a consistent schedule. The routes mainly impacted Cornell's campus travel, but Vanderpool thinks there won't be any more problems. Future cancellations and delays can be accessed on TCAT's website.
In more news about the TCAT, the bus system is hoping to electrify all of their buses by 2035. New York State's public transportation system received over $11 billion from the bill to distribute $18 million of which was given to Tompkins County. Electrifying all buses will continue to dig at the local goal of decarbonization by reducing diesel fuel consumption, which will cut carbon emissions.
A town council meeting was held in the town of Lansing concerning cannabis laws. No decision was made on the legalization of the sale or public consumption of cannabis, but many town members raised concerns. Lansing resident Hugh Balhar brought up the concern of children contracting acute marijuana intoxication, which can be life-threatening. Balhar also brought up the high number of drug-related crimes in the town and said dispensaries would only make it worse. As more residents raise concerns, the town council will also have another meeting on December 15th, where they'll make a decision on both proposed laws. And now our reporter Tristan Hall gives us an inside look into Ithaca College's open mic night.
Open Mic Night is one of the most recent clubs to begin hosting in-person meetings since the COVID-19 pandemic left them without a stage almost 2 years ago.
I found this open mic a couple of years ago, my sophomore year, and I started coming to it. COVID shut it down. I didn't go last year at all, and then I started coming again this year. I have friends who I met a couple years ago who are still here, and I've been coming every week because I want to do this as a career, and I want this for my life, and I need to get on stage wherever I can, because that's how it works.
Ithaca College's Open Mic Night provides a stage for comedians, musicians, and storytellers to share their crafts while also offering a time for students to relax and meet one another.
All of my friends are through stand-up. All of my roommates we're all respectively in the comedy clubs. My internship I had this summer was because of stand-up, and my future career will hopefully be because of stand-up. So it's kind of everything I do.
Sophomore Andrew Garappo, who attended his first open mic this year, believes that there is something special about performing on a live stage.
It's real. It's not like a lot of films and other stuff and music are just so pampered up and like kind of phony, but there's a genuineness to it when it's good that I really like.
A couple weeks ago here, I didn't have any jokes written, and so I decided to do Fernando as if I was Cher, and then I did like a Q&A during it, and all my friends were like, that's the funniest thing you've ever done.
Open mic regulars encourage new faces to attend and always look forward to seeing a fresh act on stage.
Regardless of how confident or unconfident you feel about stand-up, if you want to try it, absolutely try it. It's low stakes, and you just have to do it, because you're not going to get better, you're not going to know what it's like unless you do it.
It's literally like the easiest thing on the planet. You just have to convince yourself to do it. I'm saying all this, I'm not very good, but it's still fun.
Open Mic Night is hosted every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. in the Campus Center pub, and new faces are always welcome. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Tristan Hall.
Thanks, Tristan. The Willer family in Lansing are set to star in a brand new documentary about Williams syndrome, to be released in the summer of 2022. Williams syndrome is a condition that directly impacts the cardiovascular system and causes delays in development and learning. The Willer family adopted 2 children, Jeremiah and Abby, both with the genetic condition. The unique stories of Abby and Jeremiah led Phil Verado, president of the former Prodigy Media, to approach the Willers about being in the True Love documentary.
Cornell law professor Saleh Omarova was nominated on November 2nd by the Biden administration as the head of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. This position is in charge of regulating assets that are held by big banks. Many lawmakers, both Republicans and Democrats, have opposed the nomination due to the fact that she has openly criticized Wall Street, saying that big banks have been allowed to take part in unnecessary risks. Omarova says that she wants to make banking more inclusive for all Americans and to create a market for smaller banks where they can thrive and remain competitive. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Omarova refuted the claim that she is against a free market and said that she wants to just protect American taxpayers.
And coming up after the break, we have the national security headlines about the future of Twitter, updates on the Jussie Smollett case, and Merriam-Webster's Word of the Year. Stick with us.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Twitter's Chief Technology Officer Parag Agrawal is set to replace former CEO Jack Dorsey after stepping down from his role yesterday. Dorsey is still serving as the CEO of Square, a digital payment company, and will stay as a board member for Twitter until 2022 when his term ends. Dorsey said that he is stepping down from the position because he believes it's time for the company to move beyond its founders. Agrawal has served as a Chief Technology Officer since 2017, and he has worked for the company for over a decade after interning for AT&T, Microsoft, and Yahoo. Agrawal must now work to achieve Twitter's internal goals for the upcoming year and look towards making improvements to the site.
And testimony began today in Jussie Smollett's trial for his alleged fabricated claims of being a victim of a hate crime. Smollett is being accused of lying to the Chicago police, claiming that he was the victim of racist and homophobic attacks. Chicago police believe that Smollett orchestrated his attack by paying his attackers. He's being charged with 6 felony accounts of disorderly conduct, allegedly staging his hate crime.
And now here in studio, we have Casey Honigbaum with what we can expect to see from him later on in the show. Casey, what's going on in the world of sports?
Well, guys, it's basketball season, and both the Bombers and the Big Red are off to very strong starts. Plus, the MLB offseason is officially insane. I'll explain why coming up later on in sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Casey. Looking forward to it. In other news, a 30-year-old man in Texas is being sentenced to 9 years in prison for using $1.6 million of coronavirus Paycheck Protection Program funds. Lee Price III pleaded guilty to wire fraud and money laundering for misusing stolen coronavirus PPP funds. He had submitted fraudulent PPP loan applications to 2 different lenders on behalf of 3 entities. In one instance, he applied in the name of an individual who died shortly before the application was submitted, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Price is being sentenced to 9 years in prison for his crimes. And next we have Newswatch reporter Isabella Middleman with what's new at the Women's Opportunity Center for Ithaca.
The Women's Opportunity Center is a non-for-profit organization that supports self-sufficiency from a social and economic perspective, specifically for economically disadvantaged women.
The WOC has been helping Ithaca area women find job employment as well as enhance occupational readiness for 40 years, giving resources to women who would not normally have access to those resources.
The progress that has been made throughout the last 40 years has been pushing women back into the home as the primary caregivers. And now women need to face the new future of work, the new future of the family dynamic, the new needs of growth and personal development. Women need to find a way to stop trying to survive in a man's world and create a culture where men and women work together, bringing their differences and celebrating those to improve our communities.
The center primarily helps individuals find employment by offering monthly workshops and one-on-one assistance. The skills and understanding they build during these sessions can provide valuable information and insights into the workplace.
Every client we deal with comes in, has a conversation, talks to a resource coordinator, and we help them determine where they're at and where their goals are. And then we help create an action plan to bridge the gap between the starting and the end game. We have to customize those plans. No 2 people are the same. Everybody comes at technology or job skills or life history from a different place. And it's important for us to recognize that no 2 people are going to fit in a box.
The center also includes the Mary Durham Boutique, a gently used women's clothing shop that is meant to provide those associated with the WOC an opportunity to practice hands-on retail experience, customer service training, and other skills that can lead women to finding employment.
One of the reasons that I encourage everybody to go through any kind of retail training when they're young, especially, is that customer service skills are the most transferable skills across every piece of your life, not just a career skill. You have to be able to connect with people. You need to understand human behavior, and customer service skills are universal. Everybody's going to start talking. It's that time of year about preparing for the new year, the new you. I don't think we need to wait until New Year's for a fresh start. Every day you wake up, you have a chance for a fresh start. And if you don't know how to make that happen, we want to be here to support you on that journey.
For Newswatch, this has been Isabella Middleman.
Thanks, Isabella, for that story. A federal judge has eliminated the requirement that healthcare workers must receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The Missouri federal judge will not allow the Biden administration to keep the vaccine mandate instated across 10 different states, not including New York. The attorney generals in all 10 states sued the president's administration, claiming the vaccine rule violated the Constitution and federal law. The AGs were concerned the mandate will lead to a shortage in healthcare workers and a spike in unemployment. Biden's appealed mandate stated healthcare workers must be fully vaccinated by January 4th. This was projected to affect 2.4 million healthcare workers who have yet to receive the vaccine.
And the Merriam-Webster Dictionary has selected vaccine as the 2021 word of the year. This is following the word of the year from last year, the pandemic. The company said the decision was based off how many times the word was searched on their website in the past year. The word vaccines search popularity increased by more than 600% from the year prior. Its definition has been changed in the dictionary in order to reflect how COVID-19 stimulates the immune system. At the time of the announcement, Merriam-Webster said the word symbolizes how we may be able to return to our lives before the pandemic started. The company also said the word has been a driving force of many debates about personal choice, healthcare, inequality, among other discussions.
Coming up after their break, we have Lucy Calderon in studio with your 7-day forecast. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Newswatch. We've been seeing some snow here in Ithaca, but will it continue? We have Lucy Calderon here in studio to tell us what's going on. Lucy?
Thanks, Linus, and good evening. My name is Lucy Calderon, and welcome to Newswatch Weather Center. Linus, the snow is not going anywhere anytime soon. For the rest of the week, we do not see any increases in snow where it'll be dangerous or very severe, but there will be a lot of flurries, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So as you can see, the temperatures will be below freezing this evening, so chilly. When we came back from Thanksgiving, it is so typical Ithaca for the temperatures to drop over 20 degrees and to stay that way. So we are definitely stuck in puffy coat season, and there is no going back for the rest of December and into next year. It'll also be overcast outside, so it may be a little cloudy, and that goes into tomorrow as well, with similar temperatures to today, with a high in the low 40s and a low in the mid to low 30s. So still very chilly, but above freezing, so I do not think that we'll see some snow, but it might feel slightly colder because of the overcast weather. Moving into tomorrow evening, it'll be borderline low to mid 30s, but it'll be cloudy with chances of rain, so definitely wear a raincoat or wear your umbrella when you go outside, and you might feel a little chillier if the wet rain hits your skin, so definitely be careful. And that takes us into your 7-day forecast. Okay, for this 7-day forecast, Thursday is the only day that we see full-on rain showers and rainfall, but we see clouds for the rest of the week. Friday will be fully cloudy. We see mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday, and Tuesday next week, and a wintry cloudy mix on Monday, which means some snow flurries and some rain. But we see that the temperatures stay consistent in the mid 30s, mid 40s, and even sometimes dropping to the mid 20s. So definitely dress appropriately, be warm, and drink a lot of hot chocolate. That's what my roommates and I have been doing. And just do everything that you need to do to take care of yourself and to stay warm this season. Even though there's no snow except for clearly on Monday, that does not mean there won't be any snow. Definitely be prepared for some snow flurries here and there because weather does change, and it does change unexpectedly. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Lucy Calderon. Stay warm and have a good night. Back to the desk.
All right, thanks, Lucy. I'll be sure to prepare for that. And after the break, we have everything going on in the world of sports with Casey Honigbaum. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Newswatch Sports, everyone. I'm Casey Honigbaum. Let's stay on the basketball court. Let's shift over to the East Hill, where the Cornell men's basketball team made history with its 6th win in the month of November. 5 different double-figure scores aided the Big Red in an 89-75 win over Canisius Monday night. It was a game where the Big Red shot over 600 from the floor, which was good for the 14th best shooting game in program history. Kobe Dixon led the scoring with 17 points, but it was hometown hero Greg Dolan who made the biggest impact. He netted 12 points on 5 of 5 shooting and had 8 assists to boot. Cornell's 3rd road win of the year helped surpass the program's previous best total of 5 November wins. That was set by the 09-10 Ivy League champion team. Now let's talk about the Big Red women's basketball team. Winners of 3 of their last 4 contests. They're going to look to keep rolling tomorrow night against UMass Lowell. Cornell sits at 4-3 on the year, but they're coming off an impressive 11-point victory over Lafayette. After knocking down the buzzer beater 3-pointer in a win over U-Albany, junior guard Sharon Mulroy helped carry the offense with a season-high 23 points on 7 of 13 shooting, including 3 of 5 from deep and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. The contest marks the last home game the Big Red are going to play, but they won't return home again until December 19th. They're going to host Washington State there. Now, contrary to what we've seen over the last few seasons, there has been big movement early in this year's offseason. Obviously, we know why the MLB and Players Association have set a December 2nd deadline to reach that collective bargaining agreement. Obviously, if one's not reached by then, we're going to have the dreaded lockout. It was reported earlier today on Twitter that today's meeting between the MLB and the union lasted only around 30 minutes. Hopefully that means they came to a swift agreement, but speculation is that a shorter meeting is not a great sign. But it also means that players have to sign and finalize deals by that December 2nd deadline. We've had plenty of huge names already signed. It seemed to start on Black Friday when the Mets signed 3 different players, and then things really got wild. So obviously it's been crazy. I got to point out my own Mets, the Max Scherzer deal, 3 years, $130 million. He's making more per year than like 3 different MLB teams. Jordan, I know we talked last year about how sad, or not last year, 2 weeks ago, about how sad the Mets were now, but they seem to be doing a lot better, huh?
Definitely. I think definitely in the season of post-Thanksgiving, I am thankful for Steve Cohen and his money. So thanks so much for that, Casey. So today is National Giving Day, and which takes place every Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and it's meant to encourage people to give back to their communities and volunteer. Linus, have you ever participated in this day before?
Yes, I have. Actually, the 1% is a great program that accepts all sorts of donations, and I firmly believe in doing that. So anyway, this has been such a pleasure this semester, and unfortunately we have to sign off now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in every Tuesday night to see us. Our last Newswatch cast will be on Thursday. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and have a great night. Jordan, it's been a pleasure. Desiree, thank you so much.